Hey everyone, the theme this week has been Who Moved My Cheese and the battle of tradition versus innovation in the company family kitchen, as it were. A couple of things that came up this week that I want to share with you to maybe help yourself in some ways when you're looking at that tradition of how you got here and how you came together as a family to build the company as my family did and other companies who've invited me along the way in this journey. Is I saw this in the combination of two family companies, and this was the theme today. It was a battle between two groups of people, the one who recognized the tradition of how we got here and how we do things, and learning things along the way to develop those standard operating procedures, or at least the rules, because as we know, sometimes those standard operating procedures aren't really documented very well, and if they are, they're probably written more for perfection than they are for actually rules and how we get things done. And then there's the other group that kind of looks forward in terms of how we can innovate or maybe some big improvement in the company, and it tends to be a battle, whether it's people who are just those innovative kind of thinkers, those really ambitious people, or it's the ones who maybe come in and take over the next generation of ownership. And what I found is there's often an untold story in relating those two things together. And I personally experienced this too, where as the person who recognizes innovation, sometimes you forget that the tradition is the reason why you have that opportunity to grow this company in a new way or do something a lot more for existing customers. You just see the possibility going forward, and you don't really stop and reflect and maybe even share with those other people who value the tradition how that tradition really is the foundation. And it's not a matter of who moved my cheese, as Spencer Johnson talked about, which people never understand, by the way. What I learned early, the first time I saw the book in the mid-90s, people either took it as the manager said, it is what it is, like the ambition, just deal with it, it's going to happen. Or the other people in the tradition who said, okay, I guess I'll just shut up and do my job. And so nobody ever understood the relationship between exploring the possibilities and recognizing the tradition. So the one takeaway I shared with those people this week and today, and I want to share this with you, to do this yourself, to get it done and recognize the great tradition of how you got here in this family tradition, and realize what's next to protect the legacy going forward is if you're an introverted kind of a person, maybe reflect a little bit on your own about, as your ambition and innovation drives you forward, what's the rest of the story of how you really got here? Because it probably isn't just about your idea. There's probably something about a customer, or maybe it's just a tradition and what you've learned from people through your own struggles and learning experiences along the way that led to your innovation and this new idea. Or if you're that person who values the tradition and the rules of how things have been done and how they should be done here, whether it's in SOP form or whether it's just the unwritten rules, look at the possibility of exploring one of those conversations with one of your clients, and not just a check the box kind of a survey, but like a casual conversation, whether it's over coffee or maybe a virtual coffee, the next time you connect with them to talk about their experience or maybe some outcome you're delivering them with the work that you're doing now. Add a few minutes to the conversation and ask them about their experience and what's changed in their business and how it relates to you. And it's just a matter of curiosity. It's not about grilling anybody. But there's an untold story that many customers have. As I learned early in my career in the family company, there's a story they have in the experience. And oftentimes we just don't stop to ask with a little curiosity, tell me more about that, and let them talk and just listen. And as the questions arise, they'll lead you into the next question. So if you're the traditional person, get to know your customer a little bit better, learn the rest of their story. If you're the introvert, maybe explore and look around the company and recognize how that ambition relates to what you've done so far and some of those unwritten rules of how things get done with the structure. So don't worry about who moved my cheese. Just move around and ask some more questions. Learn the rest of that untold story, and you'll figure out the relationship between what's now and what's next. Talk to you next week. Thanks.